Hello, my name is Mohammed Hamdan, and I'll be making a speech about vaccines. I'm just going to quickly introduce my audience. This is my nephew, Sammy. This is my dad, Ali. This is my sister-in-law, Amira. And this is my brother, who will be handling the camera well. Okay? So vaccines have been around for centuries. When we were born, we were getting our first vaccine within 24 hours of life. We got a little bit older, and every few months or so, we'd have to go back to the doctor's office to get another vaccine. We didn't know what was in it, but we knew we had to take it. I remember growing up and having to carry a folded card that showed all the shots that I had taken. We became adults and we no longer needed to take any more vaccines. We were done. And then 2020 hit and the COVID pandemic swept the world. 4.7 million people died from the virus. When the vaccine was released, some people decided to take it, but then others decided not to get it. We were no longer babies. You just couldn't make us take the shot. Even though the virus can be deadly and the vaccine can protect us, some people just don't want the vaccine. I've been a nurse for 10 years. Even though I believe in the vaccine, I also believe that people have a right to decide what they want to do. I believe that people who decide not to get the vaccine do so mostly because they just don't know enough about it. My intentions of this speech is not to persuade you to get the vaccine, but to empower you with enough information so that you can make an informed decision. We'll discuss the history of vaccines, how traditional vaccines work, and what makes the COVID vaccines different from other vaccines. First, we'll discuss the history of vaccines. The origin of vaccines go back centuries. Smallpox was once a deadly virus that killed millions. Scientists in Asia discovered that if you injected a person with the smallpox virus, a person can grow an immunity toward the smallpox. In 1796, a scientist by the name of Edward Jenner took an 8-year-old boy and injected him with a smallpox virus, cowpox virus. The boy got a little sick but quickly recovered. Jenner had deliberately exposed that child to the smallpox, and miraculously that child did not get sick. We have federal regulations today that prevent that kind of experiment from happening, but can you just imagine how bold and brave the child had to be to allow someone to inject this strange substance into their body? Word of the experiment spread, and scientists from all over started experimenting with different types of vaccines. Now that we have gone over the history of vaccines, let us dive deeper and get an understanding of exactly how it works. We have barriers in our skin and mucus that stop a virus from entering into our system. We also have ways to develop protection if a virus evades those barriers and gets into our system. Vaccines are just a weakened part of the virus that gets injected into the body. Because it's a weakened version of the virus, the body will not get that sick. What's amazing is that the body will remember it and will make antibodies that can protect the body from that virus if it enters into our system the next time. Some people have medical conditions that prevent them from getting the vaccine. However, if enough people get the vaccine, it creates this concept of herd immunity that stops the circulation of the virus from breaking out. But the trick is, enough people have to get the vaccine in order to stop the virus from circulating. So the COVID vaccine is a weakened version of the COVID virus, right? Not exactly. Let's discuss what's different about the COVID vaccine. The COVID vaccine is an mRNA vaccine, which means they do not contain any live virus. Instead, there is a type of protein that's found on the COVID virus. That protein is what is used to make the vaccine. And once it's injected into the body, it replicates that protein, and our cells carry that protein on the outside. Once it shows on our cell surface, that's when our defense system recognizes the substance and begins to make antibodies. Many people end up having a mild fever and some body aches, and that's just the body's way of trying to combat this strange substance that's in our body. Using replicated proteins instead of the actual virus is what makes the COVID vaccine safer and more effective than traditional vaccines. And even though the COVID vaccine in itself did not go years of study before it got approved, the concept of mRNA vaccines have been around for decades, and scientists have constantly been studying this. The vaccine is now approved by the FDA, and its safety and efficiency has been shown by clinical research. In conclusion, vaccines have been around for centuries. The COVID pandemic blindsided the world and caused millions of lives to be lost. The world raced to create a vaccine to combat this virus, but many people have elected not to take it. It is important to understand vaccines and how they work in order to make an informed decision about getting it. As a healthcare worker, I have been heavily involved in the testing, treatment, and vaccination process within our community. I have witnessed countless number of lives being lost to this virus. It is not my duty to pressure people into getting the vaccine, but instead I would choose to educate and empower people so that they can make an informed decision about what is best for them. Thank you for your time.